All right, Doc. We's back with episode 45, Doc and the Boxer.
Yep.
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Doc and the Boxer, or we have the email and send us an email at docandtheboxer@gmail.com. I'm Andrew Stan Cooner, and this is Len Green, and we at it. So let's dive right into it, Doc. And there's a whole slew of fights on Saturday, and I love that when there's different shows. And the first is good, eh?
Yeah, it's hard to watch at the same time though, right?
Exactly. I'll tell you exactly what I did yesterday. I watched the zone card that started at 8, the main card part of that. Not the best network to watch boxing. And then I watched on Showtime the second show of that night, which was I watched it right from 10 o'clock onward because the undercards were great fights too, and I knew they were gonna be.
Man, see, I missed the undercards. I was watching the hockey game, the Leaf game.
Oh man, I mean that's big too.
Yeah,
this is Leaf Nation, right?
Yeah.
This is Leaf Nation.
But then I rushed home and I caught starting the third round of the Linares fight.
Oh, you did, eh?
Yeah.
I watched it this morning because, like I said, I switched over to the Showtime card and the PBC Showtime card, and I missed the main event of Haney and Linares. But so that's what we'll get into first, Doc, and that was at the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas, and boxing back in Las Vegas where it belongs. The big fights, big crowd. The crowds are coming in now, and they're not a full venue, but still a lot of fans. Mm-hmm. So we got in the main event, Doc. Devin the Dream Haney, who retains his WBC lightweight title and improves to 26-0 with 15 KOs with his victory over Jorge El Nino de Oro Linares from Venezuela, 47-6, 29 KOs. Just quickly, a unanimous decision, 116, 112, 116, 112, and 115, 113. So give it to us, Doc. What's your opinion?
Yeah, so I scored it 115, 113. I thought Linares won four rounds, and Devin Haney won the rest. Wow, where to start on this? Should we let's talk about Devin Haney first, and we'll talk about Linares because it's hard to, right?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, he's only 22 years old.
He really impressed me in this fight. He stood in the pocket. You watch his other fights, he's doing a lot of moving. And again, I don't like to call it dancing, and I don't like to call it running.
Yeah.
I call it boxing. But this time he stayed in the pocket. Very quick jab. That's what really impressed me. Fast jab. Would have liked to have seen him double up a little more and triple up on the jab.
Yeah.
Because every time, first of all, he was always first.
Yeah.
He always got the first punches in. And then Linares, as he's kind of trying to set up and coming in, get hit a few times with the jab, right to the face. So I was really impressed with Devin Haney's jab. I was impressed. I thought he was going to do a lot of moving, but he didn't. He stayed in the pocket. He was sharp. He was quick.
He was.
I don't know about his power yet, but again, he's only 22.
He's only if we're gonna say a knock on him, and we got to be honest, the chin is the knock on him, because otherwise, an armor that has no chinks in it.
Yeah,
Devin Haney, he was hurt a little bit when he going back to the corner, and Linares was like that, like ushering him this way. Yeah, he hurt him. He got caught with a few shots. I mean, his defense is, to me, that's the one element of his game and he's got, his chin is not great. That's this chink on him.
Yeah. But as he grows, that might improve his chin. But also, I think that Linares is a harder hitter. puncher than he is too.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
yeah, and that had a factor, but
Lawrence has more knockouts than Haney has fights.
yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's right.
29.
But I was really impressed with his combinations, his speed. He found a home for his uppercut.
Beautiful uppercut.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And even though he got rocked at the end, I think he got rocked once at the end of the 9th, and then he got rocked really at the end of the 10th. That's when Jorge.
Right. Then he would usher him, and it took Haney some time to recover from that being hurt, and he wasn't the same in the next round, and whatever. This is one thing Haney said in regards to that, because that has been the knock on otherwise a really great career, Devin Haney. Haney is that can he fight? Can he go and can he like stand there and take the shots and give them? That's been the thing. So this is what he says is he's like, they want to see if I can go in there and walk my opponent down, hit him with big shots. I showed I can do it all. I can box, I can bang, I can take a shot in the face and adversity and still get the job done. So he answered,
and that go. Yeah.
No, you're saying, I'm just saying he answered those questions in that fight, because all of that happened in this fight.
Absolutely. And I listened to him as well after the fight, and he knew that he listened to some interviews with Linares prior to the fight, and Linares had said, this guy's gonna run, and I'm gonna track him down, and I'm gonna, when I catch up to him, I'm gonna beat him down. And he knew that's the way Linares' team approach a fight. But and on his side, they said, okay, let's push him backwards. You move forward. And in the clinch, he was stronger than Linares. It seemed that way in the clinch.
He did.
Right?
He did.
Now, after he got rocked and he came out for the 11th, there was a lot of clutch and grab, right?
There was.
And even one time he just came in and
he was hurt, and then he just his intention was solely just to hold him.
Right. But that's almost a veteran move.
It is,
right?
And it is, and that's why there's been a lot of knock on him on different social media posts. Right. He's hugging him, but this is strategy, man.
Absolutely, and also smother it, throw the punches, and then smother, so he can't get countered, because Linares did that.
Man, Linares, you can't say enough about the guy. Look at his career. Look at who he's fought. Look how the way he fights, and it's so entertaining. And he
is a master at his craft. He was like a machine out there.
The question of going into this fight, which I said too, and about another fight that happened that we're going to talk about too, is the age, because we know boxing is a young man's sport.
Yeah.
And Linares is 35 and Haney's 22. And just quick, the other fight showed that the age doesn't matter. But in this fight, the age did matter. Because I think, Doc, I just think one thing is being that age, but also the number of fights that you've had and how they've been and how is your style, and that's the mileage on your odometer on you as a fighter. True.
So speaking of that, I've been following Linares for a while.
I know you love Linares. I know you talked about him.
And he used to train with Edwin Valero.
Yeah. Venezuelan.
Yep, also Venezuelan. And so I have seen a change in his fighting style now at age 35 compared to 10 years ago. His movement and head movement is not as much. He used to really be more bouncy on his toes and moving and angles.
Right.
This time it was a little more forward, almost like this is what we got to do at this age to conserve energy.
Yeah.
And although he was in great shape, and he was still, but watching him fight and his technique, he is a master of the art of boxing. He is such a beautiful fighter. He's really, he's at the top as far as all these guys. He's still at the top at age 35. Now, the other thing is, he used to get cut. I don't know if you remember the Antonio Marco fight.
Right. That was horrible.
Winning, beating the crap out of DeMarco, but DeMarco, tough Mexican, ends up cutting him up, and they have to stop the fight.
Fight he was winning.
So he, not long after that, Linares had some like scar tissue removal surgery and got rid of a lot of it. And you know what? It worked, because last night he didn't get cut.
You know what?
He was swollen, but he wasn't cut up.
Thanks for mentioning that, because they talked about that, and they talked about, hey, in this fight, he's not cut, and he's not what we see of Linares, and some of that is attributed to conditioning and stuff. Like conditioning, you know, it plays a factor, eh, Doc?
Yeah, absolutely. Right? It plays a factor in getting cuts and opening up, and it plays a factor in recovering from hard shots too.
Exactly, recovering for sure from a hard shot. Your conditioning affects that big time. He
looked real good, Linares, in the second half of the fight. He really did look good.
He was waiting for a bit. I mean, Haney. I wouldn't even say waiting, because the Haney had a really nice jab, really nice movement, kept the distance, but then he was like, I'm gonna go forward. Then he started pushing forward, and that played more into Linares' hands.
I agree. And when he came forward, and he started throwing combinations, that's when he had success. Right? Single punches had an effect, but his combination punching is what gave him that real hard right, where he finished with a hard right.
That one, I remember that.
And that rock.
Exactly that, the combination. So what can we even think of one other fighter that throws like 5-6 punch combinations like Linares did? Of course, of course.
Who he sparred with, Linares.
Right, and I saw that interview about that, and they asked him he's like, Manny's gonna win for sure. He's an unbelievable fighter, right? He was one of his chief sparring guys there. Linares for a while.
Yep. And he loves Japan. He has a lot of fights in Japan on his record.
He has for sure. He's got a lot from in Japan. And the thing is that when I predicted the winner of this fight, I said Linares because of the things what we're on about Haney, like his chin, whatever, but also to Linares going back to Japan now, and he's having his training camp, and he's fighting from there now. So now he's training in Japan, where he's undefeated, successful. That good.
Right.
And he's been 2-0 since his knockout loss to Cesar Cano, that crazy first round knockout loss.
That was that was the fluke of boxing. That happened. We've seen that happen, right? Yeah. Amir Khan, when he fought
British Prescott.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. He also got knocked out in the first round.
Yeah.
So that can happen in boxing. But one thing I think that's really good for Haney, first of all, I like the way this kid speaks. In interviews, I'm very disappointed with the audience there that they're booing him. I don't get it.
I know.
Because the hanging on, but to me, that's just a smart veteran move, like we talked about. But you know what's good about the fight? The way the last 3 rounds went, even though he lost, because of that, he's going to get more fights, Haney. Because all these guys at lightweight are going to go.
Yeah, they're like, they're going to be like, I can beat this guy. I can beat this guy. Right?
Yeah, they're going to be in for a big surprise, man. We always talk about how it's Teofimo Lopez, Gervonta Davis, Lomachenko, these are all the
Garcia,
and
Ryan
Garcia.
Garcia.
These are the top guys in that division.
Yeah.
But you know what? He's right in the mix with those guys, and I didn't realize it until this fight. I thought he fought so well.
Mm-hmm.
And with poise. So that's why I don't like it. I don't like booing anytime in boxing. The fact is, this dude just went through 12 rounds.
Yeah,
where his life is on the line.
And he's making some money, man. Like he's making like $2 million like a fight and stuff. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, and that gives more incentive for other fighters to fight him too.
Fight him, yeah. He's Matchroom, Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn's doing it up big.
Wow, was Eddie Hearn come on strong, eh?
Yeah.
What a great roster he's got.
Oh, I know. He's got a roster, a complete full roster of stars.
Yeah, amazing. Sorry, just one last thing. Even if Benares lost, I like him even more. I love the way he fights.
Yeah, I love the way he fights, and I love everything about him. He's a professional in and out of the ring.
Yeah,
for sure he is.
Absolutely.
Well, speaks Japanese, English, and Spanish.
Yeah, and actually, when I saw him, like when he was training with Edwin Valero, and what's his name, Fisher from the Ring magazine was
Doug Fisher.
Doug Fisher was interviewing him. They needed an interpreter, so his English since then has improved like vastly, and that was good to see too.
Doug Fisher always was a huge fan of Edwin Valero. He pushed Valero like, this is the guy, man. He was big behind him.
Yeah.
So then, Doc, we'll continue on the DAZN card at the Mandalay Bay. And then we have IBF featherweight title eliminator. This is sorry. Oh, sorry. One thing about the Haney fight. Ben Davison is in his corner too, and so is his dad, Bill Haney. He attributes a lot of his becoming like a better fighter to Ben Davison.
Wow. Well, I saw and listened to Ben Davison in the corner. I mean, he gives good. He says the right thing.
Yeah,
and with his father in the corner, his father's pretty cool and calm.
He is, because his listen to this, Doc. You know how fathers are overbearing, like, oh, that's my son, he's gonna be the best. Bill Haney told his son, I'm gonna take a step back. I'm gonna get out of the picture of coaching you. Let somebody else coach you. Let somebody bring you to that. But then I guess Haney still wanted him, then brought him Ben Davison too.
Yeah, what a great team he had. Now, just rolling off of that, so immediately after the fight, they're talking about Lopez.
I mean, let's see. I mean, Lopez has got some business to take care of,
exactly.
which he will. Yeah. But let's see how things play out. We don't want to hear talk. There's always talk in boxing.
Yeah, this is boxing.
When it's confirmed, it's on paper, and we see the poster, the poster,
yes,
with the date and stuff, venue, then we're excited.
Exactly. That's the contract, is the poster.
Yeah, for sure it is. Like that Pacquiao Spence poster came out on a Friday. I'm like, what? Is this a joke? I'm like, this is awesome. They both got on both their Twitter feeds and Instagram feeds.
That's gonna be huge.
Yeah, that's massive. So, Doc, then we the fight before this one, we have Azinga, the Golden Boy Fazil from South. I don't know. Did you see this fight, Doc?
I see it. No,
you didn't. Okay, no. Okay. I'll just quickly talk about it quickly.
Sure.
Azinga, Golden Boy Fazil from South Africa, now is 15-1 with 9 KOs, scoring 2 knockdowns over Martin Ward from England, 24-2-11, with a 7th round knockout. And his corner, Ward's corner threw in the towel, whatever. It was a good fight. This kid's actually pretty good, really.
Yeah, you
really
like
good.
his technique?
Yeah, he was pretty good. But I knew the card to watch was the PBC card on Showtime. First of all, like look at the panel. We got Abner Maris and Maura Renau, Al Bernstein, Brian Costard. Like these guys are awesome to listen to. They really, and it's all really spoken, and the broadcast is great. Anyways, the first fight of the night here, and this is headed over to Diginity Sports Park in Carson, California. This is where these fights took place. And the first fight of the night, Doc, was a really interesting fighter, Gary Antuanne Russel. This is Gary Russell's brother. They're all named Gary Russell with the middle name. It's just like George Foreman named all his kids for George.
Yeah. So how
like
was
that.
Gary Antuanne Russell? Is he like his brother?
Man, I would say better. Southpaw now becomes 14-0 with 14 KOs with a 6-round knockout over Jovanie Lobito Santiago. And Jovanie Santiago, if you can remember, was the last guy that fought Adrien Broner and gave him a good fight. And many people said he should have won.
Yes, I remember that fight. I thought he won that fight too.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta see this kid. I'm gonna watch these fights this week.
Doc, this kid is good. He's a good puncher, and he's going for the kill. Bang, bang, going for the kill. Always southpaw, 25 years old, high octane, high volume punching.
Fast like Gary Russell Jr.
Very fast, but stronger. Like look at the record: 14-0, 14 KOs.
14 KOs. That's crazy.
And then I listened to his post-fight interview in the ring. It was he's such a very well-spoken kid.
I gotta check this guy out.
He's
what weight class was it?
140. Another 140 guy.
Okay, nice. I like it.
Right? His post-fight expression with Jim Gray. Anyways, he also beat. Oh, sorry, he's a valedictorian. He graduated as a valedictorian. Like he's a smart kid. I really respected that about him.
Yeah, nice.
He also beat Jaron Ennis 3 times in an amateurs.
Whoa!
Yeah,
this makes 140 very interesting.
It does, right? We got another guy in the mix here.
I like it.
I say the only thing about him is his defense. His defense is not airtight. Like he just goes for the knockout. But very fan friendly.
Nice. Yeah. I will check out that fight.
Okay, Doc, we'll head over to the next fight of the night. And this is Subriel Brownie Matias from Puerto Rico. We're actually going. Sorry, I'm going back to the zone card.
Yeah.
Subriel Brownie Matias from Puerto Rico. No. This is the zone card. Sorry, this is PBC card. I'm so sorry. PBC card. Subriel, this was a good fight, Doc. Subriel Brownie Matias from Puerto Rico, who's now 17-1, 17 KOs with the 8th round KO over Batazran Jumabaya from Kazakhstan, but fights out of Montreal. One of these imports from over there, who's been compared to GGG, and that level of he was that good. His record as an amateur was 220-40.
Wow.
So this kid had some serious credentials, right? And he was 18-1. Oh, sorry, he's 18-0, 14 killed. Now falls to 18-1. With the 8th round KO. This kid, Subriel Brownie Matias, little taller, nice fast punches, boom, and just beat this kid up. I felt bad. It was a close fight, but but Matias just pulled it away. And he was battering his face, and this was a big upset because this kid was heralded to do very well. He's in 2015 he signed with Eye of the Tiger Management in Montreal, but a rude awakening to boxing. This is boxing, man.
And then that's what happens. Once you're like over 14, 15 fights in, you're going to start meeting stiffer competition.
Stiff, for sure. Yeah.
I'm going to watch that fight too. That sounds awesome.
Watch it. These guys are good ones to watch. Matias KO'd, and he's got all KOs. He's beaten Malik Hawkins, who was 18-0. He KO'd Maxime Dashdov. Remember Dashdov, the one that passed away?
Yeah.
He KO'd. He was 13-0. He KO'd Bredis Prescott, who was 31-13. KO'd Adrian Estrella, who was 28-1, and KO'd Patrick Lopez 25-9. I just put the Patrick Lopez in there because I know Patrick Lopez from our qualifying zone. He's from Venezuela. And me and a couple other guys, especially me, because I watch all the boxing. Like I was there in tournaments. I was there to win, but when I saw a good fighter, I'm watching. I'm knowing what fight he is, what ring. I'm gonna be sitting there watching him. I used to love watching Lopez. He was so slick, a slick southpaw from Venezuela, really good. I figured he'd do great in the pros, but and so should I have. That's how professional boxing is different, right?
You never know, man. You never know who's gonna make it in the pros.
Yeah, it's a different ball game.
Yeah.
So now with the win, Matias now becomes IBF mandatory to fight Josh Taylor. I mean, Josh Taylor's got 4 belts, so he's gonna have a whole bunch of different mandatories, right?
At 140 or 135?
140. Sorry, 135.
Because Josh Taylor's name came up.
No, 140. This is 140. Josh Taylor, 140.
Okay.
140. He just beat Ramirez last week.
Yeah, and his name came up also in Haney's camp as well. After this fight, they were talking about maybe making. And Linares said he'd like to fight Josh Taylor as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, at 135 though.
So I say like with Linares now, like he won't get another fight of this caliber unless he beats somebody that's gonna put him back in line to be one of those kind of like a gatekeeper type of fighter, right? Because that's what he's come to now, gatekeeper type of fighter.
I hate that expression because it implies a guy that is good but gets beaten all the time, and he just had Lomachenko, that was his big loss. DeMarco, but that was because of cuts. Got freak knockout. But otherwise, all his fights are just so competitive. He's just a very dangerous guy.
Oh, dog, you just he's lost 6 times and he's been knocked out 5 of 6.
Right? Yeah, true.
And he's like, remember how we talked about? I know he's not old per se, but he's 35, and he's got, look at all the fights he's got, right?
Yeah. But there was also no rematch clause in this fight either, so they're not going to give him a rematch with Haney.
Nor should there be. It was a clear-cut win, even though Linares had and tested Haney to the extent that we needed to see him being tested against an opponent like this, of this caliber. So, Doc, then we just ran through everything, and now we're headed right to the main fight that I was so excited to see because I'm a big fan of Nonito Donarie.
Me too.
Yeah, and so we're at the Diginity Health Sports Park in Carson, California. And then we got the main event, Nonito, the Filipino Flash Donarie, who now was 41-6, 27 KOs with his 4th round knockout over WBC champion, Bantamweight champion Nordine Oubaali from France.
So I was actually surprised he can still make that weight, Donaire.
And you're right, Doc, because one thing he's gone up to featherweight and then he's come back down after winning featherweight 4 world titles in different weight classes.
Yeah. I was really surprised that he was able to he's able to do it, but he's doing it. But where do you want to start with that?
He's doing it. He's 5'7" too. Like,
he's a big boy.
Because he dwarfed 5'3" Nordine Oubaali, and that was my prediction. Going into this fight, I said Donaire is going to knock him out. Donaire is too big, and has too much experience. I like Nordine Oubaali. He's a 2-time Olympian. He's got that pedigree and stuff. And he beat Rasheed Warren for the title.
Yeah.
But he's known on his resume, stood up to anything that Donaire has done and the guys he's beaten.
No, doesn't have as many fights either. Half as many fights. But what's amazing fights is that left hook of Donaire's has been with him since the beginning of his pro career, and it's still there now. It's a very powerful shot, and that's what he knocked him down the first time.
That's right? The punch, and that's where he knocked down Victor Chenin with that hook.
Yep, Montiel.
That's when he first won his first world title in 2012.
Yeah, it was Montiel, right?
No, with the Darchinian.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But this guy's been champion in 3 different eras.
Yeah. He did
not eras yet, 3 different decades.
He did have a flash knockdown against Rigondeaux, I think, in the 9th round of their fight. Do you remember that?
Dog, the thing is that he got taken to school by Rigondeaux. For sure, got school.
I agree, but he did knock him down. Do you remember that? And nobody had done that to Rigondeaux.
Yeah, but it wasn't ruled a knockdown, was it?
Yeah, it was.
It was? Oh, okay. I don't remember that one.
Yeah, I think it was the 9th round too that he knocked him out. I don't know why I remember that, but I do. That was in New York, that fight too.
Oh, right? Yeah, right. And then Donaire becomes a 3-time bantamweight champion, and the oldest bantamweight champion at 38.
You remember who he lost to? Who went at that weight class, and then he went down in weight. You remember who?
At featherweight, then he went down.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this to me right now?
I love doing this to you. Because I don't remember his name, but I'll tell you where he was from.
And I'll tell you.
Jamaica man.
Oh, yeah. Nicholas Walters.
Right.
Yes, it was Walters. Yeah.
It was Walters.
Yeah, because they were saying Carson, California. That's where that fight happened, I think.
Yeah, and that was the beginning of Walter's career, really.
Yeah.
But we know what happened there. But I think and then went down after that fight.
Then Lomachenko made him quit.
Yeah.
Quit. He just quit. That's it, mate. No, not mate.
It's interesting how fighters, when they feel, and we can name a few fights, when they feel like they're being embarrassed, will kind of
the red flag comes out. The white flag. Yeah,
we've seen that happen a few times,
and
including with Roberto Duran.
For sure, yeah.
The famous No Mas fight.
Mm-hmm.
So it does happen.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
it's not because they're getting hurt; it's because they're getting embarrassed.
It's embarrassing. Like, in front of all those, your pride's on the line.
Right. And I get it for sure.
Yeah.
So, what did you think of the fight? It lasted what, 3-4 rounds?
4 rounds.
4 rounds. What do you think?
I love Donaire. Like, he punches so hard. Like, I wouldn't say that he's fast. He's got everything that he had when he was younger. And at this age, at 38, one thing, remember how we talked about, okay, this fight was canceled a couple times with the COVID. They both getting COVID. It was canceled a couple times. It was supposed to happen, didn't happen. And Donaire has been on the shelf for a while. They haven't fought since 2019, and that's when they both fought on the same card in Japan when Nonito fought Inoue now, and Nordine Oubaali fought the brother and beat the brother on the same card.
That's amazing.
Then the WBC ordered this fight, and then the COVID and stuff didn't happen. And then finally it happened. I mean, this is now 20 title. This is his 20th title fight. Donaire's, like, that's how long this has been. And this is what he says. He goes, "That's a lot of damn title fights." He was saying, Donaire now begins his third reign, claiming a major title in the third decade. His first belt he claimed nearly 14 years ago.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
And then remember, he was a fighter of the year at 1 year in 2012. The fighter of the year in boxing.
I
That's
remember.
massive. Donaire was.
Yeah. That's when he had the 4 belts, right?
Yeah. So the one thing about this fight and what Donaire talked about and stuff about after the during the final press conference, and he talked about like his mentality and everything, and he talked about his ability to stay in the sport for this long and fight at this high level still. And and he attributes most of that. So like, this is what he's saying. He's like, this is what he says. He goes, "The human body is an incredible machine. If you take care of it, and you take care of it, we can only be as strong as our mind can be." Like, this is his visions and stuff. Like, it takes a special kind of person, and we know that, to do what he did. I mean, to be a world champion, but to be where this guy is at this age, in those lighter weight classes, where you're an old veteran at this age. You're done, long gone from the sport.
Yeah. That's really incredible. But I think we are in an age where we're seeing fighters at the top that are in their 30s, late 30s. And I think it is because of the science of health. Mind health and body health.
For sure.
And I think
equally as important, right?
You got it. And fighters are way more aware of what they're eating now, and they're staying in shape when they don't have fights.
Yeah.
Like, this is the new era. We're gonna see more and more of this.
They know the importance of staying in shape in between fights. Like, before, it was just go put on all this weight after fights and then go back in the gym, and your training camp is just a fat loss camp.
Right. Those days are becoming far and few between now.
Yeah.
Now they're just in shape all the time, which is brilliant. Hockey's gone that way. All sports, even golf has gone that way. And I don't say even golf, but
you're right.
Golf has gone that way.
Mickelson just won at 50 years old.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
See, I know a little bit about golf, man.
Oh, way to go, man.
Tiger Woods, y'all. Doc, and then so the Donaire's also saying this: being this age is not the question. It's about my performance, about my ability to grow. Like, the great talk from him. I mean, that is one thing, is like being able to fight at this age, but being able to be a champion and knock out the other 32-year-old, 34-year-old, 32-year-old WBC champion, right?
Undefeated,
Undefeated, 2-time Olympian.
That's amazing. And he was pretty emotional after that fight too, eh? Like
he was, yeah.
I'm happy for him. I'm happy he got a belt, and I think we're going to see some good fights again out of him, especially in the basic class. Holy crap!
And he wants Inoue. That's the next fight. That's what he wants. And you gotta admire that. Look, he was talking about Manny Pacquiao. He's like he was talking about Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao's obviously his idol, right? Filipino icon and stuff. And Donaire is at that stage too.
Yeah.
And he's just commending Pacquiao on what he's doing and stuff. And he's like, I'm like that too. I'm 38 years old and I'm still fighting at this. The weight class is different. So if you mix it all around, they're even. He's really a 42-year-old fighting at welterweight, but he's you know what I mean?
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean. I agree. Absolutely.
Yeah.
There are differences.
And Doc in his corner was his father and his wife. His wife was the lead second, and she actually knows a lot about boxing.
Mm-hmm.
And she talked about this and this is what they talked about. This is what he says though. Donaire, he's like, but she also talked about this too. She's like, he's like, I knew what his pattern was. I knew what he was going to do. He was showing his disadvantage in terms of his weaknesses, and that's why I got to counter him with his left hook. And she said the same. She talked about this too. She's like, we studied him in training. We know what he's gonna do. We know his habits. We know what he likes to do. Like fighters like to do certain things. Like I like to throw this combination, and usually it's gonna be like that, or right?
Yeah.
And that's brilliant. Like these aspects are set the bar or make the difference in fighter at this level, these type of things, right?
Yeah, that's when the intellectual part has to come into play.
Mm-hmm.
And when you incorporate it, like obviously Donaire's team did, the results are obvious. And the way he was able to get him into the corner like that to set up that first knockdown.
Yeah.
That was very subtle, but very deliberate. You could see he wanted him in the corner so there was no escape. So he couldn't laterally move out so easily.
Yeah.
And then delivering, that was such a sharp, quick left hook. Like at first I didn't see it. And I wasn't sure what he knocked him down with until the replay. But that's how fast he threw that.
It was so quick. It was a domination, eh? Domination.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, that other fighter, 5'3", his reach was short as well.
Yeah.
It was a good movement, but
I gotta throw this in there, Doc. He got the short end of the stick. It's always used against me. Why can't I use it one time?
Hey, touche, bravo.
So like for Donaire and what we talked about was he wants that rematch with WBA IBF champion now in a while.
Yeah.
Donaire goes, it's wide. This is the fight I want. That's my next goal. Now I'm 16-4 in major title fights. It may be difficult to make the rematch because Donaire is with Richard Schaefer's Ringstar Sports and Miles with Top Rank and Tekken Promotions. And Bob Arum doesn't really work with other people. He has. Yeah, you're right. He has. No, you're right. Yeah,
I think that's a really. Say that. But I think that fight may be doable just by demand, because I mean, I when you want to watch I would pay to watch that fight for sure.
I would love to watch that fight. It'd be good. And it would be a storybook ending to a storybook career that Donaire could beat the invincible monster in
Yeah, that would be amazing. So I think there would be a lot of interest in that fight. We'll see.
We'll see, because another fight that can be thrown into the implications of this fight's result is the August 14th fight between WBO bantamweight titleist John Riel Casimiro and Guillermo Rigondeaux. So, and this will be an easier fight for them to be made. The winner of this fight.
Yeah.
But
that sounds. Don't you think that sounds likely to happen?
I think so. And I think Rigondeaux is going to get knocked out in this fight.
Really, eh?
Yeah, because my thing, I love Rigondeaux, a great fighter, one of the best amateurs ever, a great fighter too, like amazing fighter. I mean, he took Donaire to school, and Donaire is one of the pound for pound best, we have to say, and he took him to school. But I mean, like this fight, he's 40 years old. And his legs, the legs go.
That's it.
He don't the Rigondeaux, when I fought Rigondeaux, because the Cubans, what they do is they gain a lead, especially earlier in the tournament. I was like the semifinal, or no, quarterfinal. And so they go all out in the finals. So after they get the big lead, and then they close for 2 rounds. Man, he was coasting, but thank God he coasted, because he put me down and hurt me, and I was like, I would have been out of it. I couldn't touch him when he was moving. He's doing all, and I'm trying to go after him. Mexicans love that, right? The aggressive. Oh, he's running, they're booing him, and they love me because I'm going after him. But little do they know, I'm thinking, God, like I'm just gotta chase this guy, and he can make me look like a fool as long as he don't put me down again.
Yeah.
No?
But you're making a good point, because if you want, when I watch the old fights of Rigondeaux, including the Donaire fight, when he slips, it's not like just his upper body is a nice little slip, but he bends, and his legs, and he bends from his knees. At age 40, can he exert that much energy in defense like he used to? No. I don't think so. So I agree. There's a real good chance he can lose this fight.
Yeah, he'll be a sitting duck, and Casimiro is a big puncher too.
Yeah.
So that spells destruction.
Yeah. But I like that. I like that because it there's going to be we're going to see Donaire fight again.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, Donaire's not done. Donaire still wants to fight in a while. This other fight with Rigondeaux, and that's gonna happen at Casimiro. So there's still life in this bantamweight division.
Definitely.
And he and then this is what he's saying, Donaire. This is all about checking off the boxes. Donaire's saying, I beat Oubaali, done. Get the rematch with Ino now.
Okay.
Check that one off. Get the WBO belt. Mission accomplished. It doesn't matter what order it happens, because it happens because the goal is to become undisputed champion.
Right. Wow.
Love that.
Good
Attitude.
plan. It's a good plan.
Yeah.
We'll see one fight at a time, anyways.
Yeah.
Now, sorry. Go on. What we got on the docket here?
No, well, the docket is oh man.
Because I kind of wanted to come back to the
let's go back to it, because
back to 135 lightweight. So we apparently Ryan Garcia was the mandatory to fight Haney. And I mean, Haney's side says he didn't want that fight. we don't know exactly what happened, but we got to include Garcia in the mix at some point when he's dealt with his health issues. But I'm curious to see what you think. Like, where's Ryan Garcia comes back? Where does he fit in the scenario? And the rumor of him fighting Pacquiao, obviously that's gone because Spence is fighting him. So where do you see him in the mix and who he potentially would fight next?
Well, I mean, first, we don't know the timeline of when he's going to come back, or when we know that, then we can make a distinction and determination, because these other fights are happening. Teofimo's fighting Camboso, Tank is fighting Barrios. These fights are happening. Haney just fought. These fights are happening. So let's see how the picture plays out, and then we're gonna have to see Ryan Garcia fight somebody else before they throw him in with the Sharks.
That's what I think will happen too. Yeah. So there was also in that division, man, it's a controversial division. Lomachenko recently came out and said that he's watched the fight many times now, him in the Lopez fight, and he scored it a draw.
Yeah, come on, Lomachenko, you keep losing the respect and stuff from fight. Like, we think you're amazing, but don't say that, man. Come on.
I know. But honestly, he was really bitter about it because he had a charge in the second half, but it certainly was not enough to win the fight. In my humble opinion.
No, 100%. A lot of people echo your same testament there, Doc.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying the same thing.
Yeah.
But you're right. Lomachenko, we cannot forget. He was a pound-for-pound champion a couple years ago. So we can't forget about him. He's fighting Nakatani. And he said this about the Nakatani fight. He's like, I wanted to fight this kind of opponent because this guy gave Teofimo Lopez trouble.
Yeah.
I want to see if I can beat him even better.
Yeah.
And then he's going to want, then we're going to have to see that Teofimo Lopez and Lomachenko rematch.
Yeah. If he holds on to the belts, right? Because if he doesn't hold on to the belts, Teofimo, does Lomachenko still want to fight him?
And I mean, right now, I think belts are taking precedent over fights.
Yeah,
people want those belts.
It's all about the belts right now.
Yeah.
But what do we got coming up? What fights are coming up?
Yeah. So let's go into that one. This is just for you, Doc. So tomorrow, this weekend, and it's on a Sunday in Miami. We have Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul. Are you gonna watch this?
Yes, but I'm gonna be disgusted in myself the whole time for watching it. I don't think it's good for boxing. I don't care what people say. I
agree.
What says. It's boxing gets people to watch. You get new fans. No,
we don't want these fans.
Get no fans.
Yeah.
This is a joke. I don't want to. This isn't good for boxing. Makes it look more like a circus, and then we're gonna see more of these type of things.
It's not gonna stop. This is the YouTube era right now that we're in.
And I watched a little thing today about Showtime does the
build up thing.
The build up thing, and I kind of like Logan Paul. Like, I think, like, dude, good for you, man, to be so wealthy and famous because of your hard work doing YouTube stuff and just recreating yourself like that. Like, I got respect for him.
You can't hate on him for sure. No, you definitely can't hate and throw shade like that, right? But
and I don't think he's taking it that seriously. I really don't think he's that serious. I mean, that doesn't mean he's not going to train hard and stuff, but I think he's good. He'll be fine either way if when he loses to Mayweather, because he is going to lose. There's no question about that.
It's going to be. I wasn't like, honestly, I won't even watch it. I don't even really care. No. Honestly, I don't even.
talk about it?
We'll talk about it. I'll look at like some it'll probably be like a minute long or whatever. I don't know, unless he wants to carry on like he did Conor McGregor.
Right.
Well, but whatever. I was more interested in watching Jean Pascal and Battle Jack, but we've now heard the news of Jean Pascal getting testing positive for 3 different steroids. And I mean, I don't want to comment on it, Doc, because
We don't know.
John Pascal,
Yeah.
we don't know exactly. And he's claiming that okay, first he had Memo Heredia as his strength trainer, and I didn't even know that. And then he said after the positive test, he immediately fired Memo Heredia, but Memo Heredia is known for these
Marquez.
and he's known for these type of instances where
And that's
steroids are involved.
trained Marquez when Marquez knocked out Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, exactly. So I don't want to comment on it until, because I love John Pascal and but I did see I'm watching him train and stuff on his YouTube and Instagram, and even Logan Paul, how you were talking about Logan Paul, and he is training hard. Like these guys are training hard and running up the hill, running and sparring, and they're in Miami and they're training hard. But now this happens, and I'm not really that interested in this card, aside from maybe watching Jared Swift. Hurd is fighting on this card too.
I love Jared Hurd.
Yeah, I like Hurd too. He's good.
Yeah. I love the way he fights, but he just takes too many punches too. He's another one of these guys that just gets hit too much.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
But
I mean,
yeah, I look, I don't want to judge. Just hearing that about Pascal, and we both are huge Pascal fans.
Yeah.
I don't want to judge him because we don't know. We got to wait till we hear the full story.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Let's see how this pans out. And if he did, I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
Not that he got caught. I just feel bad for him that he would feel that he would need to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. If he did do it, yeah, you're right.
Let's first see.
You're right. Yeah. So let's give him the benefit of the doubt right now. Innocent till proven guilty, and I mean, we're saying we're ratting or whatever, but we how we feel about steroids in the sport.
Yeah.
So then we have another fight on June 12th, and that Shakur Stevenson is back. He's fighting Jeremiah Nakatili for the WBO interim junior lightweight title on ESPN.
Yeah.
Always good to see Shakur.
Yeah.
I just said I like Shakur, and I think he will be. He's probably the best prospect. I wouldn't even call him a prospect now. He's not, because he got a belt.
He's got a belt.
He's the best young champion coming up.
And sorry, go on.
No, you go ahead. Do it.
I since he became pro, I've watched all his fights, and what I like to see, and I see it in him, is every fight he's fought better and better. Like he's improving, and he looks bigger and stronger too. So yeah, I'm very very excited to see how this fight pans out, and then what other fights he's going to get after that.
Yeah, and then look at the people around him, and he's training. Terrence Crawford's his boy. They train together all the time. Surround yourself with like-minded people, right? Exactly.
Mm-hmm. I think that's great for his career.
Okay, then we'll just carry on further till on June 19th as well in Mexico. Another one of these sideshow things. Anderson Silva versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in Jalisco, Mexico. Another one of those.
Yeah, Anderson Silva's into his 40s. He's not just like 40.
Well into it.
Well into it.
Yeah.
And he did box. I've seen I've seen, I think, one of his pro fights he's had boxing years ago when he was younger, and he was skilled. There's no question. But is there interest in this fight? I guess so. I guess maybe a ton of MMA fans are going to watch it, but not that many boxing fans are going to watch it. That's my guess.
Yeah. I mean,
in Mexico too, eh?
Yeah, in Mexico, in Jalisco, Mexico. That's the home of Canelo. Jalisco. Doc, and then we're out of time, eh?
Oh God.
We're out of time. Just quickly though, Doc.
Yeah.
This fight, I don't know if you've seen him yet, but July 3rd, Chris Colbert.
I think
prime time Colbert is fighting Yorkis Gamboa. If you didn't get a chance to watch this kid because
he's
very good, very entertaining. He's a showman.
Yes.
Love everything about this guy. Okay, because we talked about it. He was in that New York in the gym, and that they did that documentary thing on him.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So he's fighting Gamboa.
Gamboa's a gatekeeper. I know you don't like that term that much, but he really is, right?
Yeah, and remember he fought Devin Haney? Gamboa?
Yes, yeah. That was his last fight, and that's why Haney got a lot of slack because he couldn't take this guy out and stuff, right?
Yeah. But again, the guy's he's 22. He doesn't need to take risks. He was the champ. He didn't need to take risks. Gamboa looked so much older, and his body looked thicker. You're right. It's not going to be a tough fight for Colbert. It's just not going to be a difficult fight for him.
No, it's not. This kid's sick. We'll see. So many fights, Doc. So many.
Yeah.
Fulton Jr., Brendan Figueroa, David Benavidez, Jose Ostagi, Earl Spence, Manny Pacquiao, Vasily Lomachenko, Masai Nakatina.
Gilberto Ramirez is fighting at 175. And, oh, man, who is he fighting? Damn.
Because he looks I know. Because he just signed with Golden Boy.
Yes.
Too. Yeah. Signed a good contract with him. Good for him.
I want to see that fight too.
Yeah, I know you like him.
I do like him. Going back to David Benavidez, and I know we're running out of time.
Yeah.
After his next fight, I think he may have a shot at if he wins his next fight, he may have a shot at Canelo next year.
Yeah, for sure.
Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, for sure. And Canelo will beat up Sweet Caleb Plant.
Yeah. And again, I like Caleb Plant.
I do too.
Fights.
He is brilliant. That's what boxing is all about. But it'll only be a few rounds of that, and then Canelo will.
Right. He'll figure him out, and then he'll have the solution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out of here.
To Andre.
Yo, I appreciate it, man. Good fight. I'm a fan of yours. I know. Get the fuck out of here.
It still doesn't make sense that Andre's, going to the press conference telling him, when are we gonna fight? And he's fighting at 160.
I know, dude. Like, what are you doing, man? Get out of here.
Go to Charlo's press conference.
Yeah.
And push him.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyways.
Okay, Doc, we gotta end it.
Holy crap.
Yeah, all right. We out.
That was awesome, man. That was an awesome weekend of fights.
Love it. Love the PBC card, man.
Killing it.
Awesome. All right, Doc.
We're lucky, man. We're lucky.
I know. And they keep going like that for a while.
Sick. All right, bud.
My wife ain't that happy about it.
No.
But it is what it is.
Hey, my wife's okay, but I've been with her for 28 years.
Oh yeah, that's true. And it's not like I'm doing anything bad. I'm at home watching boxing.
Well,
It's not like I'm,
here's the deal. I'm going to
Yeah.
teach you right now, and then we'll finish.
Yeah.
Here's the difference between men and women. Women, they want you. She wants you
Yeah.
to show appreciation. How?
Yeah.
By spending time with her.
Yeah.
How do we want our girls, our wives, to show us appreciation? By leaving us alone.
That's the difference, eh?
That's
we
the difference.
can't meet at a middle place here.
There's no middle. So you watch your boxing, you take your flack, but you continue watching boxing. That's all you can do.
Yeah. No middle ground.
Buy her a diamond here, buy her jewelry, something. That'll make her.
A little this and that. Yeah. Okay, Doc.
All right.
All right.
See ya.